Welcome to the very first one in our new series of dream rides. And dream rides, for me, don't get any more of a dream than this. This bike here is the Ducati 998R. And if you look closely, I'm going to explain why this is such a big deal for me. This is a model of actually it's a 996, this one. I have had that since I was 8 years old. I bought it at Brands Hatch from one of the little stalls there. I have been obsessed with this 916 shaped bike since then. I have read every road test going on them. I used to go to Box Hill car park with my dad as a kid on the back of his Fireblade and then sit there dribbling over any one of these that walked in. The Termi pipes, the Marchesini wheels, the Olin suspension, all those things, I was just obsessed by it. And believe it or not, I've never ridden one. I had one session on a 748, thanks to my friend Sarah Jordan, about 10 years ago, but I've never had a go on the Holy Grail, the 916, or in fact the holiest of the Holy Grails, if you will, the 998R. And this is going to be my first experience of one. I'm supposed to be really cool and calm and collected and matter of fact about this stuff, but you're not going to get anything useful out of me today. I am giddy with excitement. Today is going to be a proper boyhood dream come true. I cannot wait.
These videos only happen because of the support and help from our sponsors. Support the companies that support us. So before we get to the exciting bit, this is like delayed gratification here. I just want to swat up a bit, do a little bit of nerding on the Ducati 998R. And
you're trying to call me a nerd? That's nice.
Yeah.
What a way to introduce
you are a bike nerd.
Thank you very much.
And I mean that with the utmost complimentary way.
Well, obviously, the 998R, which is the Holy Grail, for me, in the 916 Tamburini shape. Obviously, they started off with the 916, then the 996, and then the 998R. This model, this shape, has been going 12 years. Wow. So as you can imagine, they've perfected it over the years, and they've come up with this final one, which is the 998R, and they're awesome. I mean, just look at it.
And obviously, so yeah, we've got 916, 996, 998,
yeah.
And then this one being the R, which is the the special edition. So what differs from a stock 998 to like a 998 Biposto to this one, the R version?
Olin suspension, Marchesini wheels, bigger airbox, lots of carbon fibre as well. And only 700 made.
Wow.
200, they believe either 150 or 200 of them were actually purely for racing, for special clients, and then the rest was for the public. So it's 700 worldwide, that is, as well.
Wow.
Yeah, 139 brake horsepower, 187 kilos in weight, which when you compare it to normal standards today, obviously it's quite heavy. Yeah. Even with all the carbon and the lighting package and everything on them, and 174 miles an hour top speed. So it's a serious bike of its day. 2002, this one.
So the bit I'm worried about, obviously they say never meet your heroes. It doesn't, for me, this doesn't, and I know a lot of people, this doesn't get any more of a hero. I could write you a road test on all the other road tests I've ridden. I know everything everyone else in the world has said about these. So super heavy clutch, hard work in traffic in town.
Really grabby, the clutches, lots of noise.
Real snatchy, heavy on the wrists.
Yeah, very heavy on the wrists.
And you've mentioned a couple of times while we've been chatting, not to be taken lightly. It's still 138 horsepower, loads of torque, and obviously not a rider aid inside.
No ABS, no traction control. This is hardcore. You've got to really know what you're doing on one of these bikes. And like you said, very uncomfortable. It comes into its own when you're on the long sweeping corners and long straights, and it's the whole package with the bike. It really is. I'm itching. I'm itching to get out on it. So here we are. This is going to be the first time I have ever ridden the Ducati 916 shape bike. Well, to say that you're starting the new Chris's Dream rides, this is an amazing one to start with.
Yeah.
For the first one, awesome.
From toys, toys and posters, to riding the actual thing.
The dream's going to happen today.
Oh, goosebumps, actual goosebumps. Yeah. Can we go
Brilliant.
now? Can we?
Oh yeah,
can we?
Of course you can. Go on.
Let's do it. That was the best day at work ever. I am still fizzy. My tummy is genuinely in knots. Every bit as good as I dreamed it would be when I was 13, and so much better than I was worried it would be as an adult. Dream came true. We've done actually a good 60 or so miles today on the Ducati 998R. We had a cold day, but good weather, dry, and some absolutely stupendously good roads. Bit of traffic, bit of town work, and then out for some mega kind of Peak District riding. What a thing this 998R is. I was really worried about how horrible it's supposed to be in traffic. Clutch is heavy, not denying that, but it wasn't agonizing. It's a sports bike. They're never comfortable in town. It was okay to ride in town. And to be fair, I was so busy being happy that I was on it that I probably wouldn't have noticed anyway, but way more rideable than I expected. Then we got out into the hills and it just rode so much better than I was worried it was going to. Motorcycles these days, modern bikes are phenomenal. The performance they've got, the way they deliver that power, you can do so much on them. And I was really worried that this legendary old bike was going to kind of be eclipsed by that, but it wasn't. I had all the power I wanted to pass, all the traffic I wanted to pass. So the brakes were probably the only area that felt particularly different to a modern bike in terms of performance. They don't have that bite, that grab of the disc that you get out of a really nice modern radial setup. You've got to use two fingers, you've got to pull the lever, and you've got to put a bit of force through it. The thing stops absolutely fine, but I think it's a stark reminder how much braking has come on. Now, one finger and you can be on the front wheel stopping into a turn. Back with this bike, you've got to pull it. You've got to pull that lever. But it just became addictive, coming out of every turn, roaring up through the gears. It took me a while to adapt. Everyone says that. You know, you don't have to rev this thing. You can use the torque, riding that wave of torque out of a turn, all of it together, the sound, the feel, the vibration through the chassis, the way it shunted, it kind of has this thud out of a corner. I've dreamt about what that would feel like since reading tests in Bike Magazine as a teenager, and now it's every bit as good as I wanted it to be. Just endless corners, just firing out, braking in, firing out, braking in. Find a long straight, click up through the gears, listen to that beautiful howl, that roar from the turnies. Just one of the most intoxicating riding experiences I have ever had on a motorcycle. And let's caveat that. Obviously, that's because this is the dream bike for me. And for me, this experience was always going to be special. But I think what's caught me out the most was how usable and rideable it is. I'm lucky I get to try lots of different bikes, and I've ridden lots of classics, and a lot of them are very different and specific to ride. This, I didn't feel like I was having to think. I just got on it and enjoyed every single mile I put on this incredible machine. 100%, you could take this out, do 100 miles on a Sunday, enjoying the roads, a couple of cafe stops, and you would have an absolutely wonderful time. The difference between doing it on this and, say, a brand new Panigale is actually even the slow roads are fun on this, even the bits in town are fun on this, because everything about it feels so special. I think that kind of adds to the experience. If I've ever had the kick up the bum I need to actually go and get myself one, this was it, which is surprising, because I drove up here genuinely thinking I was going to ride this, get off and go, okay, I've done that, I loved it. I wouldn't own one, but having ridden it, honestly, I would have one, and I want one more than ever. I've come so close over the last 15, 20 years to buying a few different ones, and I've always wimped out. I've never quite pulled the trigger. Now a 998R is a little out of my sort of budget and price range, but it's given me the kick up the bum to stop dreaming about buying that special bike, but to go and get the damn thing. Motorcycling's not logical. Like for many of you, motorcycles are a huge part of my life. Why not have the one you've always dreamt of? So that's not supposed to be a bike specialist advert either. That is just genuinely how I'm feeling after riding that. I'm kicking myself for not going and buying what I really would love sooner. So if anyone's got a cheap Extracte 996 Piposto kicking around, bung us a message, because yeah, the interest is strong. I have absolutely loved this. What a day.